Welcome to Rod's Tabletop Hoops. Basketball fans to Rod's Tabletop Hoops. As you can tell by the scoreboard here, the Los Angeles Lakers of 1972-73 are blowing out the New York Knicks of 72-73, 80-57 after 3 periods of play. This game is being played as game number 5 of the NBA Finals. A game that was Wilt Chamberlain's final professional basketball game that he ever played. That occurred just over 50 years ago on May 10th, 1973. So I was hoping to have a competitive matchup between these Knicks, who actually won Game 3 in Los Angeles and captured the championship in 5 games. And of course, that coincides with New York's never say never, the last championship the Knicks ever won. So I have a couple milestones here, but I just felt like honoring Wilt, who was such a monumental and durable NBA player, a spectacular talent, spectacular athlete, definitely a top 3 center in the history of the game. You can make those arguments. I don't like going with lists because all eras of basketball are different. You could compare, Akeem Olajuwon and Shaquille O'Neal and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar and Moses Malone to Wilt and Bill Russell. But Wilt is right up there in the elite class, if not just for centers, but for all-time players, period. Anyone who scores 100 points in a game averages 50 points per game. And even in this final season, his final game, where he's almost 37 years old, Wilt had a fine performance in the final game of his career. Little did many fans know at the time that he was actually never going to play a professional basketball game again. He had actually opted out of his contract and went over to the San Diego Conquistadors of the ABA. But unfortunately, a court order forced him to not be the player coach he was going to be, but he was just going to be a coach for 1 season, and then he decided to just hang it up. He was getting too old for this stuff, but still a fine player to the final game. And I want to do a quick, before we get into the 4th quarter action of this Statis Pro game, that it looks as if the Lakers are going to win. I would like to do an analysis of comparable players near final games, or games that were in the playoffs or at the final stages, or maybe the last possible game of their careers. And here's that analysis in a moment. For those who don't recall, the Los Angeles Lakers of 1972-73 were coming off their amazing championship season of 71-72. They won 69 games, lost just 13, had an amazing 33-game winning streak. Well, 72-73 did not go as smoothly. Unfortunately, their power forward, Happy Hairston, got injured and played roughly 28 games, and that hurt them. They did put in an aging Bill Bridges as their power forward, and it was good enough to win 60 games. It was by far not a slouch of a season. They still had Jim McMillan developing into a great small forward. West and Goodrich still playing very good basketball. An average bench with guys like Mel Counts and Pat Riley. Not a deep bench by any means. I always figured that the team payroll couldn't afford more than West and Goodrich and Wilt and they were probably still paying some of the contract of Elgin Baylor. So there was just too many high-priced stars in that team to have a deep bench. That was kind of my theory of early 70s NBA, late 60s, early 60s NBA. I don't think that's the case anymore. But anyway, by contrast, you can see the Lakers, they won their division. They won it handily by 13 games over Golden State. Made the playoffs, roared through the playoffs, even though there was a good Milwaukee Bucks team there. The Golden State Warriors upset the Milwaukee Bucks with Oscar Robertson and Kareem. And in the Eastern Conference Atlantic Division, the Celtics had put together one of the finer seasons in recent years of that era with 68 wins. But unfortunately, John Havlicek got injured in a rough 7-game series with the 57-win New York Knicks. And the Knicks prevailed and made it to the finals. And the Lakers still not fully in great shape. Hairston made a valiant effort to come back in the final series, but he was just a shell of his former self. And for a myriad of reasons, the Knicks just were on a roll after defeating the Celtics. And despite having a Willis Reed who was kind of hobbling, Willis played inspired ball, and they awarded him the championship MVP, winning in 5 games. But anyway, let me take a quick look at this finals game. Wilt Chamberlain, as you can see, these are his game logs from his final season, 73 playoffs. He played 17 games, and there it is, May 10th, 1973, at the age of 36 years and 262 days, to be precise. Wilt played an entire 48-minute game. He played 48 minutes in every game of that finals, and he rarely liked to come out. I think his lifetime minutes per game is way up there, close to 47, 46. In the playoffs, it's probably 47, 48 minutes per game. But as you can see here, just looking at his line, he was 9 for 16 from the floor, 5 of 14 from the line. He always seemed to struggle in the playoffs at the free throw line. He was, in his regular season career, he was just barely over 50%, but in the playoffs, he was about 46.5%. Not a good free throw shooter, not a good clutch free throw shooter. But you can see he also had 21 rebounds, 3 assists, 3 fouls, 23 points. So old man going in there. He probably had a few block shots as well, playing his best. But let's take a look at the box score of that game, see how it comes out here. And as you can see, they lost 102-93. Certainly not as bad a game as when they played in 1970 and lost Game 7. They were down 27 at the half. This is 1973. They just did not have it in this series. You can tell looking at those scores, they won the first game. And it looked like, they had a better record than the Knicks. They had the home court advantage, lost it in Game 2, lost by 4. They barely won a game, lost in Game 3 at New York, and then they lost by 5 again. So very close games, but it just a closer series than a 4-1 probably. But it seems like, based on the players, you can see this final game that Red Holzman, he went with 8 players. He didn't even go deep into his bench, and Walt Frazier played all 48 minutes. This game I'm playing, Walt Frazier's playing all 48 minutes because I don't have anybody else, and I can't afford to lose his game, for even a few minutes. And here's the Lakers. Chamberlain, 21 rebounds, 23 points. Who struggled here? I mean, McMillan had a solid game. Goodrich had his usual game. Well, look at there. Mr. Clutch, Jerry West, had probably his worst game, maybe one of his worst championship games ever. And I know he struggled in the 72 finals as well. He had mired in a shooting slump. But was that the pressure defense of Walt Frazier and Dean the Dream Meneminger? Because I think Earl Monroe's assignment would probably be to guard Gail Goodrich. He was just better suited because he wasn't a defensive threat. And but I'm not sure why Jerry at home went 5 for 17. And of course, the bench contributed next to nothing. You can see Keith Erickson, 25 minutes, 6 fouls, 1 for 4. Happy struggled 0 for 3. Mel counts 0 for 1. But my point is, I wanted to see how the comparable big men of the era and before and after were in compared to Wilt. And you can see Wilt's 23 points, 21 boards. I say that's a fantastic performance for a final game. Let's go to Bill Russell's final game. Bill played in the 68-69 finals, of course, against Wilt Chamberlain, in a controversial game where Wilt decided not to come out of the game. And you could see that they won the game 108-106, something like that. And it was on May 5th, 1969. So we're talking 54 years ago. And Russell went 2 for 7 from the field, 2 for 4 from the line. He did have 21 rebounds, 6 assists, and 5 fouls. I remember they both had 5 fouls in that fourth quarter. If Wilt would have come back, it just would have been interesting. If Wilt could have even fouled out of a game. He never fouled out of a game. That would have been the greatest game to foul out of, because you can see the Lakers made their charge, 30 points to 17 points there. But a couple key shots, including one that banged off the rim and bounced about 10 feet in the air by Don Nelson, sealed the deal for the Lakers, who never tied the game in the closing minutes, even though they had a chance many times to do so. Jerry West here did not fall flat. He went with triple-double numbers of 42 points on 14 of 29 and 14 of 18 from the line. And then, of course, you can see that Wilt was actually 7 for 8 from the floor, but once again, his free throw shooting's just abysmal. I mean, it might not have made a difference, but if Wilt makes 6 out of 13, does that make that game a tie game at 108? I don't know. But there's a lot of fouls, 34 fouls to 29. And that really matters when you only play, 3? Celtics only played 7 guys. Lakers only played 7 guys. So that's a lot of fouls per player. It's amazing. Only Keith Erickson and Sam Jones fouled out. And Sam Jones in his final game had 24 points. So once again, final game for Russell, 6 points, 21 rebounds, nothing compared to what Wilt did in his final game. Let's check Willis Reed, who's his opponent. Willis got injured in 74. This is the year following the 73 champions, and he was pretty much a done deal. He was only 31 years old, 300 days when he played his last game. And it was game 4 against the, game 4 against the Boston Celtics. And I think that, this game, I can't remember how far this series went, but we can check this score, April 21st, 1974. And poor Willis, he was probably just dragging his leg. They lost 105-94. They lost in 5 games, and I don't even think Willis played in every one of them. But as you can see, a struggling Willis Reed. John Giannelli was the starting center, went 1 for 7. That doesn't hurt anything. Doesn't help anything. At 39 minutes played, 9 rebounds, 4 fouls, really showed the hole there. And I think Dave DeBusschere was also struggling with an injury. So this team was banged up. Jerry Lucas obviously was struggling as well, 6 minutes. This was his final season in 74 as well. Reed, 2 minutes, 0 for 1. Let's go to Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Now for him, I took the year he turned 37 because I didn't want to compare 42-year-old Kareem to near 37-year-old Wilt. And so here we have Game 7 of the 1984 Finals. It's the Lakers and Celtics. The Celtics won by 9. But look at Kareem's numbers. He went for 29 points. Couple blocks, 2 turnovers, just 6 rebounds in 43 minutes played. Now that's an amazing run for a guy he's just turned 37 years old. I mean, that's an incredible performance. Of course, he's helped by the Magic Man and things like that, and they almost took another championship, but there he is, 29 points. So that's really the only comparable player I found that can compare with a finals performance or a final game performance. And it's amazing, these super players, most of them with the exception of Reed, were in the NBA Finals in their final season. So that is quite impressive. So anyway, let's get back to our 1972-73 tilt between the Lakers and the Knicks, and let's find out how this game is going to play out. Alrighty, fourth quarter action about to begin. Knicks and Lakers, they have a jump ball at the start of every period. And the Lakers, so far tonight, Wilt Chamberlain has not disappointed. He has dominated the boards, which is basically the difference in this entire game. As of the moment, the Lakers out-rebound the Knicks 35-14. Now, there's an issue with Statis Pro Basketball a little bit with rebounding. There's not a lot of rebound battles going on. It's basically, if you have a higher rebound rating, you are going to grab that rebound more often than not. There's not a little, a plus. The modern day Statis Pro play action cards, and these are the ones I'm using here. I've actually divided the deck into 4 equal stacks, so I can have 3 minutes at a time, 180 cards, kind of estimated just by stacking them next to each other. Give myself 3-minute increments so I can make substitutions and know roughly how much time is left in the game. But getting back to the rebounding, there is a little bit of an issue there. If you have a team with such a strong rebounding mechanic per minute played, and in this particular game, I did do a modification. I was mentioning in a prior video, the boxed games video for Statis Pro, how the rebounds were not done per minute played. They were done by average on the season, which really harms players that don't play a lot of minutes. So I prorated every one of these rebounders per 36 minutes, and I've got it written on my electronic score sheet. So when I do a rebound battle, it's not going to be Jerry Lucas 7 rebounds versus Chamberlain 19 rebounds. It's actually Jerry Lucas will be at 9. Well, that's actually 9 rebounds, and Chamberlain will be 16 rebounds because per 36, Wilt grabs less than the 18 point whatever he did to win the rebounding title for the 11th and final time of his career. So anyway, I've modified the rebounds on a per minute played basis. I've done a couple modifications. I've also been brushing up on the rules, and I've conquered a little bit of the how the fouls are drawn out, and how if there's a shot attempt with a foul, I got to finish shooting the shot to see if it goes in or not. And I hadn't been doing that. I kind of learned that after about halftime of this game. So still learning as I go, and the game flow's been pretty good. It's just the rebounding, like I told you, 35-14 on the boards. That's just not even realistic, because the Knicks are actually shooting the ball at a reasonable rate. They're at 50% from the floor. The Lakers are 56%. And there are 2 rules that were set in place with this 72-73 season of Statis Pro, and one pertains to Wilt Chamberlain, and it says that you cannot have Wilt Chamberlain shoot in a regular offensive pattern. He can only shoot the basketball when he gets an offensive rebound. Well, Wilt has been grabbing a lot of offensive rebounds, and at this point he has an unofficial 7 assists, 16 points, and 17 rebounds. And he only averaged 13.2 points a game. And I did a couple. I was going to do a house rule and allow 1 ball to go into Wilt on an advance of a basketball. And I think I probably should not have done that because it gave him a couple extra baskets. So, but Chamberlain is shooting, I believe. Let me see here. He's just 7 for 12 from the floor, which is 58%. But this was the year Wilt Chamberlain shot 72.7% from the field. Yeah, and he has 10 offensive rebounds and 7 defensive rebounds. So he's basically playing like 1967 Wilt and just grabbing everything in sight. He also has a couple block shots, and I benched him for 6 minutes. He averaged 42 minutes a game, so he'll probably finish out this game unless I decide to start laying off the scrubs. But sometimes it's just fun to see what's going on here. And the Knicks are going to play their starters like it's a championship game, which I'm trying to depict here, but 23 points down. This is reminiscent of the 1970 Game 7 where the Lakers just fell flat on their faces. So anyway, let's see how smooth this goes. I've actually gotten a pretty good pace going because the card turning is pretty fast. I can see what the appeal is to Statis Pro as far as pace and ball movement is, but there are a lot of decisions to make on who should pass, when to advance, when to shoot, and let's see how that takes place in this final period where the Lakers have the 23-point lead. I've also I've brought 2 dice into play because I don't see a lot of accuracy, once again, the rebound factor on free throws. I did not see anything in the rules about how to give the defensive team the advantage on free throws. So I've thrown in the Fast Break by Mickey Games. This is a printed, made-up version of it. A rebounding missed free throws chart. I'll roll 2 dice whenever there's a missed second free throw or penalty shot. So anyway, here we go. We're going to do a jump ball. It's going to be Jerry Lucas. Reed's going to take a breather. He's been struggling against Wilt. He has 3 points, 1 assist. No, 3 rebounds, 1 assist. 2 points on... Check that. 6 points on 3 of 8 shooting. So he hasn't played terribly, but hasn't really dominated anything as well. So on this particular play, we're going to do the jump ball, and it is the visiting team. So the Knicks, they need all the breaks they can get. Going to use the ball marker eraser. And here come the Knicks, passing to the G1. And that is Frazier. I'd like to advance so I can maybe get an assist. Let's see what happens. Pass the G2, and Frazier's got a 2 assists, so Monroe's going to have 20 points added to his 11 of 47 shooting. And the shot is going to be 42. Good. Frazier to Monroe. It's now 80-59. Lakers take over. Action pass the G2. Keith Erickson will advance the ball. Pass to the center. That's Wilt, who really can't shoot, so I'm going to advance one more time. Ball stolen by Reed. Knicks trying to make a desperate attempt to come back here. Pass to the center. That wasn't Reed with the steal. It was actually Jerry Lucas. So Lucas has the ball. And the question is, do I shoot it over Chamberlain? Let's try and advance it. Oh, stolen back by Chamberlain. Bad idea. Okay, we're just going to start firing for the Knicks. We can't afford any more turnovers. Ball goes to the G1. It's Jerry. Top playmaker. Pass the ball to the center. Chamberlain not able to shoot. Stolen away by Lucas. So it's a turnover fest to start this fourth period, and these are not really scientific turnovers by any stretch of the imagination. It's just what it's in the action card. Pass the ball to the G2. That's Earl the Pearl. And we'll pass it off to Choice. So let's go to Frazier. See what Frazier can do. Shot number 57 is not good. Rebound high at the F2. So I've pre-rated these guys per minute played. So it's DeBusschere versus Counts. And Counts is actually a 14. So Counts will grab the rebound. And the Lakers come down. Past the F2. Mel Counts. Let's advance that ball. Pass the F1. McMillan's going to spot up over to Phil Jackson, who has a 0 defensive rating. No good by Phil. Or, excuse me, McMill. Yeah, McMillan's having an off night so far, 4 for 11. Rebound high on defense. Well, let's see. What do I got? Lucas at 9. DeBusschere at 11 or 10. Phil Jackson at 9. So it looks like DeBusschere is going to grab that Reedy. Knicks come down. Pass it to the F2. That's DeBusschere. He might shoot it over Counts here just because Counts isn't a great defender. Let's see what happens. 18 scores. Dave DeBusschere. 61-80. Ball goes to the high index team, and that is the Lakers. Each team's given an award and index, and the Lakers were rated a 17, which I think is among the highest in the league, and Knicks were a couple points behind, so that'll just give the ball a little bit to the better team, kind of a team rating there. And the action says double dribble. I'm just going to give a random turnover to Jim McMillan. It says double dribble. It would be nice to know who has the ball. Back to the Knicks. G1, Walt Frazier. West's a pretty good defender. Let's try and advance that ball. Pass to the G1. So if it's a pass with an asterisk, it means you utilize the assist rating. And even though the G1 is Walt Frazier himself, that basically describes a player who dribbled free of the defense and set up an open shot. So Frazier with an assist of 2, you had 20 points to his 11-47. And let's see if Walt Frazier can get a good shot in. 45, good. And see, it would have been a much closer. He would have made it with just no assist rating as well, dropping 2 points to 45. He would have snuck it over Jerry West anyway. And Frazier's having a fantastic game. He's 12 of 15 from the field, 80-63. You can't blame Clyde for this defeat if that occurs, but they do have it within 17. Foul defense. Now this is where you got to check the fouls on the defensive card by looking at the foul number of 81. Now, if anyone's got that in their range, they pick up the foul. So you can see Monroe, 62-66. There's 81. 75-81, Jerry Lucas. And that's the third foul on Jerry. And the Lakers will just continue on with the ball. It was not in the act of shooting, but there's one fouled in the act of shooting. So now we got to find who picked up the foul. And that's an 82. And that is very close to Jerry Lucas. Yeah, Lucas got it again. The person closest to the range is the next guy you award the foul to. So Lucas. And it's in the act of shooting. So Wilt Chamberlain, we got to check a shot to see if he actually made the shot. And the number's an 87, so it did not fall, thank goodness. So we're going to play Hack-A-Wilt right here and see what Wilt does at the line with 2 free throws. And Wilt is 11-51. 68 is no good. 87's no good. So the Hack-A-Wilt works. I'm going to use the rebounding missed free throws chart because the shouldn't be a regular rebound on a free throw. And I roll a 7, which is the center, Jerry Lucas. Sorry, that was outside the screen. And the Knicks, the Hack-A-Wilt works. They're going to get the ball. Action Z chart. My dreaded Z chart. Who's going to have to go to the bench? Visiting team, G2 must rest. It's like, I really don't even want to utilize that. I'm going to ignore that one and just let the Knicks play on because it's just, it keeps interfering with my minute scheme. Monroe is only played 18 minutes, and part of that was because of foul trouble. Part of it was because he was removed from the game earlier. We're just going to keep playing. The Z thing is kind of a negative, in my opinion in many plays, except that it does have some random action. I do appreciate that. Oh, action, foul, offensive foul. So watch Earl Monroe pick up his 5th foul right here. Anyway, it's gonna cost me. Shot number 70. Oh no, whoops. Foul number 47. And that is closest to Dave DeBuscher, and that is 3 on Dave. Offensive foul to Busher. Lakers take over. Ball goes to the F1. And the F1 is Jimbo McMillan. Try and advance that ball. Pass to the F2. That's Mel Counts. Counts against DeBuscher. That's not a good defender. Let's try one more advance. Ball stolen by DeBuscher. Should have cut my losses and shot that ball, but the Knicks get the ball back. Fouled in the act of shooting. So some Nick is going to be going to the foul line. Let's check who the foul is on Los Angeles. Foul number 88. Well. 25, 31, 13, 82, 88. There it is, Keith Erickson. And Erickson's man is Earl the Pearl. Does the shot fall? Yes, it does, a 28. So Pearl makes it. He's got 11 points on the game. They've cut the lead to 15. I may have to bring in Gail Goodrich pretty quick here. Foul Keith Erickson. It's 2 on Erickson. And showing just one team foul. So 1 free throw for Earl. And 82. Not good. Earl averaged 15.5 on the year. Rebounding the free throw. 6, that's just the power forward. Mel counts. Lakers come down. G1. That's Jerry, but he's being guarded by Frazier, so let's advance that ball to the F1. McMillan's just being guarded by Phil. There's the 3-minute mark right there. McMillan is going to fire. And the shot number's 11. McMillan scores on Jackson. (82-65). Knicks with the ball. Pass the ball to Luke. Let's have Luke shoot. He's a high percentage shooter. Hasn't had a good game so far. The number is 42. So, Lucas is a 51. And so, Chamberlain is a -4 on defense. So, it's 48, 47, 46, 45. So, it's going to be a good jump shot by Jerry Lucas over Wilt. (82-67). So that was probably a long-range jump shot, I was assuming, by Jerry Lucas, who I just watched a Sports Century on ESPN on his fascinating mind. He has memorized pages of the phone book. He just memorized how many steps it took to get from the locker room to the playing court. You know, he just had a mind that was nonstop. And apparently it was a good and a bad thing for him sometimes. He never really stopped thinking. He was always someone who would get up at the 3:30 in the morning and start just counting things, or he knew every stat that he and every player did in the game as the game was being played. He was that type of guy, and he was actually very, very interested in knowing how many rebounds he had. He's the only power forward to grab over 40 in one game. So interesting chap. So we're still about 3 minutes in here. I think I'm going to make a change here and get Gail Goodrich in here to lock up the Game 5 victory for the Lakers. All right, we've got Goodrich in the game for Los Angeles. Action pass to F1. Jimbo McMillan. McMillan's going to advance the ball, bounce it to the G1. Mr. Clutch is going to go up against Walt Frazier. That's a 35. And so West is a 47, drops him down to about 42 with Frazier's great defense, but it's still good. So there we go. Leads back up to 17, and that's just kind of the way it's been. if the Lakers hadn't been dominating the block shot numbers so much, I think we would have a much closer game here. Not rebound numbers, I mean. Action pass to F1. Phil, big chief triangle. Definitely going to advance that ball if we can. Advance it to G2. Earl the Pearl's going to shoot over Goody. And Earl can't hit. Rebounded by the offensive center. And that's Jerry Lucas. So Lucas has the ball, and he has the option of either just resetting up the play or going up against Wilt Chamberlain, which is, although a challenge, Lucas is a high percentage shooter. Let's just shoot this thing and try to get ourselves in the game, and there we go. 35 is good. Lucas a little more productive than Willis Reed this game so far, despite a slow start. He was 0 for 4, now he's 2 for 6. Not a big difference, I guess. Laker ball, 15-point advantage. Still in the first half of the fourth period. Ball's going to go to the G1. That's Jerry. Jerry's an assist machine. Let's see what he does. Oh, pass to the G1, which means he can't assist himself, but he does get the benefit of his assist rating of 3. So a 47. Wow, I don't know my numbers very well on the thing, but it's a high number. Let's shoot this shot and see what happens. 26. He had more than enough to make that one. He was probably in the 70s on that because he had 3 for an assist, and that's 10 points for every assist number, creating a very high percentage shot, as Jerry West would be known to do. So Jerry's 6 for 7 from the floor. He's just not played a lot because he kept getting removed with the Z chart. Knicks have the ball, leading 86-69. Action says pass to center, and Jerry Lucas, he's just going to pop. Pop the shot there. 57 is not going to be good. Just had to do a little heat check for Jerry, and they need shots quicker than quick. Rebound. Team with high front court, and I'm just guessing you're just adding the 3 front court players. With Chamberlain with a 16, Counts with the 14. There's no way they can match that. So I'm going to go 1 for McMillan, 2, 3 Counts, 4 to 6 Chamberlain. And I roll a 6, so the 6 is going to get the rebound to Wilt. I can tell the way this game is managed, they didn't really expect you to take full statistics necessarily. Got to do a little workarounds in order to make them work. I'm also keeping track of turnovers and steals and all the fun stuff for the modern day game. Action is a foul defense, so I got to find who the foul is on the defense. That is going to be 45. .45's Dave DeBuscher. And that is the 4th foul on the Knicks. Non-shooting foul. If we were playing in 1971-72, there would be a one-shot foul, but 72-73 was the first year they eliminated that little one-shot foul, dead ball foul. Action lane violation. Well, let's just do a random 1, 2, 3. We'll call that on Wilt. And so for the game, no home court advantage here. 20 turnovers for each team. The steals are very interesting. The Knicks have 16 and the Lakers have 12. It seems that most of the turnovers are a steal. So that's probably why that is the case. It's still 86-69. And the Knicks are shooting 53%. The Lakers are shooting 57% at this point. Leading scorers are Walt Frazier with 24, 15 for DeBuscher, 21 for Gale, 16 points, 18 boards for the Dipper. So the Knicks are going to come down. They're going to try to get something going here because I am on the 3/4. This is my 3rd deck of cards. So we're past the midway point of the 4th period. No, we're not. We're just under, yeah, we're just before the halfway point. So anyway, pass the ball to the G2. That's Earl the Pearl. He's taking Goodrich one-on-one to the basket. We're not wasting any time. 75, no good. Trying to get the lead back all at once, I guess. Rebound on this one is defensive F1. Jim McMillan. Very underrated player. Good shooter. Solid defender, at least by Jim Mickey's ratings. Played in Buffalo. Ball goes to the F2. That counts. He'll advance the ball to Choice. Well, when you have a choice, you got to think about going to the Gail Goodrich. It's a very good scorer. Let's shoot it, Gail. Counts to Gail, and the shot is good. Mel Counts of Oregon State making some big plays here. After this deck's done, I'll probably put Bill Bridges back in for the final 6, unless I feel like the game is over. It doesn't feel like a championship atmosphere when it's a 20-point lead. All right. Fouled in the act of shooting. So what Laker picked up that foul? Foul number is 17. There it is. Mel Counts. Second team foul in Los Angeles. So that means Dave DeBuscher is going to try and shoot it over Mel. 26, it's good. .88-71, three-point play opportunity for Dave DeBuscher. This is one rule I hadn't picked up on my last demo with the old box game series. Makes it a little more exciting. Free throws of 51, three-point play for Dave. .88-72. The Knicks haven't given up. DeBuscher certainly hasn't given up. Here comes Los Angeles. 3-second violation. Who's that going to be on? Let's make it 2. Mel Counts. Do the Knicks have enough left in the tank? Pass to the G2. Earl the Pearl. I want to go up really quick. I really want to shoot this, but yeah, let's shoot it. 34, it's good, Earl the Pearl. We need some quick hoops. It's now 88-74. They've outscored them 17-8 in the fourth, but it's going to be a still uphill battle at Los Angeles. Pass to G2. This action deck's a little bit favored to the home team. And that goes Goodrich. He's going to advance the ball, passes it into Wilt. Wilt is going to advance the ball, pass it to himself. We'll try one more advance. I know I can't remember how many I can do, but either way, Wilt can pass to Choice. And he's going to go to Jerry. Jerry's been hot, and Wilt's got a 2 on the assist. It's got an asterisk, so that means you can add about 20 points to Jerry's shooting percentage here. And the number's 84. That is not going to go. Great pass by Wilt. Jerry couldn't finish. Rebound. Foul. Offense. So is that a loose ball foul? That's an offensive. It's a foul. Foul offense, so whatever that is, it's on the Lakers. Number 35. 35. Who is it? Well, McMillan's very close, so we'll give it to Jimbo. Probably an over-the-back thing. That's 3 team fouls. Okay, we're getting close to the 6-minute mark here. Pass the F1. Action Jackson. Jackson will rotate the ball. Well, McMillan's a little pretty good. Yeah, let's rotate the ball. Advance to F2. DeBuscher's been hot. Counts can't play that good a defense. Let's shoot that ball. That's a 58. It's no good. Rebound grabbed by the offensive G2. That's Earl the Pearl. And I think Earl's going to do a quick shot here on the offensive glass. 46. And Earl's a 47, and Goodrich is a 0. Count it for Earl Monroe. He's playing with 4 fouls, and he also got a technical earlier in the game. And now look at the score. It's 88-76. Pass the ball on the big fella, Wilt Chamberlain. He's going to advance it. Pass to the center. It's 2 in a row. He's got to advance it. He cannot shoot that shot according to the rules. Advance to the G2. We're going to go Gale. Gale's going to fire away. 38, and it's good for Gale Goodrich. 90 for Los Angeles. $90-76. Holy cow, so we're halfway through. Decisions. Well, we're making some changes here, and Bill Bridges has returned for Los Angeles. I was mentioning Harold Happy Harrison. He played only 28 games during the 71-72 season. He tried to come back in the playoffs, played a few games. In this particular game, he came in late in the first period, and literally within the first minute, a Z chart came up, and the injury was on him. And basically, it says, he's injured. He must miss 8 games because he's got an injury of 8. So he barely lasted 1 minute. So there's some realism there. I will give Statis Pro credit there. An injured player barely got in there and got injured right off the bat. So anyway, I've brought Bill Bridges in for Mel Counts, and Bill's a serviceable player, a veteran player. Willis Reed and Bill Bradley, the championship lineup of 73 and 1970, and anything in between, have returned. We'll see if they have enough spurt to get back into this game. I'm sure there's some kind of press thing you can do, but I'm just not going to dive into that. I'm just hoping the Knicks do get some quick shots up there and force some misses on the Lakers, and we'll see if this turns out to be anyhow some sort of battle. All right, we got Knicks ball. Passing it off to the G2. That's Earl the Pearl Monroe. Earl's going to do some quick shooting here. He's being guarded by Goodrich. That's a 24. It's good. Earl the Pearl. Earl is 17 on 7 of 14. That's pretty darn good. And it's down to 12. They need a stop is what they need. Ball goes to high index team. Yep, that is Los Angeles. Pass to the G2. Gale's going to advance the ball to Choice with an asterisk. So Gale actually has an assist rating of 2. So you can dump that ball into, let's go to Jim McMillan, and that 45, it's not a 65, but somewhat close. 22, good. Gale to McMillan. McMillan with 14. As I recall, he averaged around 18 a game or so, maybe almost 19. Had his highest scoring years in Los Angeles, a high-scoring offense led by Bill Sharman. Not as high-scoring as the 72 team. That team scored in the 122 range. Here comes the Knicks. Gale Goodrich having a good all-around game. Pass to the G1. Walt Frazier. He's going to try and move that ball. Passes it to Reed. Oh my gosh, I don't really want Reed to go up against the Dipper. Let's move it. Pass to the F1. Okay, we survived 3 passes. Bradley's going to fire on McMillan, and that's a 75, no good. Burned a little too much clock there, but we did not have a good shot. Rebound. High at center, and it's always Wilt Chamberlain. I mean, Wilt is 16 rebounds per 36. Reed's only 11. So even if, like in the modern day FACs, I think a lot of them say add +3 to the defense, it wouldn't matter with the dipper in the middle there. So they're going to dominate the boards, and they still are 40-18. Not realistic. 18 rebounds in in 42 minutes of action. That's not very realistic. Pass the ball to the center. It's Wilt. Advance the ball to the center. It's Wilt. Boy, did that twice. Gonna advance it again. Pass to Choice. Oh my. Let's go to McMillan. He's got hot shooting, and Chamberlain's got a 2 on his assists, which with the asterisk adds almost 20 to the shot, and it's a 64. So this is gonna be close. Bradley's a 0 on defense, and a 45. Does that go to a 64? Let's do it on our hands. 46, 47, 48, 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, 56, 57, 58, 61, 62, 63, 64. Yeah, it's less than 20. So assist Chamberlain, basket by McMillan. It's that dang base 8. It gets me every time. I can't if it was just a base 10, it'd be like 20 points higher. Very easy. I don't know who came up with base 8 in this Avalon Hill Statis Pro, whoever it is. Midwest Research. It just confuses me. All right. 94-78. And that was a huge basket by McMillan. And he's up to 16 points. It's a pass to the F1. Bradley. McMillan's a -1 on defense. I want to do a quick retaliation shot. Let's do it. 78. Nope. Bradley with just 2 points today. 0 of 5 from the field. And he's played quite a few minutes as well. I'm not sure. He's played almost 30 minutes. Rebound. High at the G1 slot. And Frazier's going to win that battle over West. Frazier 7, West 4. Frazier's going to have to start gunning. He's only taken 15 shots. So he's going to go up on a rebound shot right here. That's 76. No good. Another rebound. What have we got? High at center. You know who that is. The Dipper with his 20th rebound of the game. He averaged about 18.5. Action double dribble. So quick turnover. Quick turnover by Los Angeles. We'll just give it to 5. That's Gale. Stumpy, who has 25 points on 11 of 17. Knicks need a quick basket here. Z-chart, my least favorite thing. Home team F1 must rest. We're going to ignore that. Not doing that. It's the championship. Here we go. Pass to F2. Goes to DeBuscher. DeBuscher on Bridges. Bridges is a +1. Let's fire. Fire away. Nope. I'm not playing Red Holtzman's offense. I'm not spreading the ball around. The Knicks didn't average a high points per game. They really were a deliberate offense, good passing, good shooting. But when you're down 16, you don't have much of a choice. High in game for the rebound. That would have to be Wilt Chamberlain. It's almost too automatic is my biggest criticism here. Past F1. I mean, it's smooth and effortless, the rebounding system, but it's just not overly realistic. Here we go. Jimbo. He's going to advance the ball to the G1, and he has nothing on an assist rating. There's an asterisk there. So we got Jerry West. Jerry needs more shots in his repertoire here. There's a 33. Good, Jerry West. He may have just put this game out of reach. Give Jerry 14 on the day. Did I pass? I can't remember who had that ball. Was that McMillan to West? I don't know. Don't really know how the assists work. Back up to 18. Here we go. G1. Frazier. Frazier's going to advance. Into Reed. Not much better. Reed's going to have to shoot it. Let's go. 48. Nope. Chamberlain's a -4 on defense. Reed just doesn't have that mobility in 1973. Rebounded goes to the offensive G1. That's Frazier. It gives him, he's got five rebounds and 3 assists. Frazier's going to go up. They need a break here. 44 and a 47. -2's 45. Goodbye, Frazier. I didn't know if that rebound shot was guarded or not. I'm going to go with the guarded. It's 96-80. Knicks making a final charge. Ball goes to Jerry. Can advance that ball to the center. That's Wilt. And it's an asterisk, and I really want to shoot this shot for Wilt because it's a near dunk. But they say he can only shoot on rebound baskets. So I'm going to honor that. Advance that ball. Stolen away by Reed. Pass to the F2 to Busher. Stolen back by Bridges. Bridges with 6 points and 7 rebounds to this point. Traveling on the Lakers. Quick travel, we'll just call that one on Jerry West. Knicks ball. So we're down to the final 3 minutes of Game 5 here. So what happens if the Lakers actually win Game 5 and the series is 3-2? Do we try another game? I will have to determine that. I also have at my disposal, might as well pause that while I'm thinking right here. I have at my disposal 2 different other games that are of note, which I do have the 72 and 73 seasons of cards. PTG Pro Basketball. Knicks and Lakers. Let's take a look and see what the dipper looks like in here. There's Goodrich. He's a defensive 3 out of 4. That's pretty good. McMillan's only a 2. Chamberlain's a 4A, which is supreme. Not bad for a 36-year-old guy plus, nearly 37. Hairston's a 3B. West is a 4A, which is fantastic. Yeah, this Laker team will be tough. The bench isn't anything too amazing. Oh, look at that card. It's backwards. Bill Bridges, 2B. Mel Counts. So basically it's the same. It's the same as these cards, but it's just PTG basketball, which is a fantastic game considering it was invented in 1965. Got to take a look at my Knicks. I think there was some East Coast bias here. They might give some pretty good defensive ratings for the Knicks of 1973. There's their team shot card. I mean, the guys who played the minutes playing time, 41 minutes a game for Frazier, 37 for DeBuscher, and that's what we've got playing on the floor right now. Frazier's a 4A, excellent. Jackson's a 2D and a 1D, which is okay. He had a pretty good year in 73. DeBuscher, 3A. Kind of surprises me, a 3A. But still pretty darn good. He's usually a 4A, though. There's Barnett at a 2B. Willis Reed, a 4B. So he's not a 4A. He does foul a little bit. But still, that's pretty impressive for a guy who played only 69 games and was hobbling on one leg. It's kind of like giving Andre Dawson of the Montreal Expos a outfielder 3 and Appa for center field. You know, there's rate the outfielders 1, 2, 3. And Andre Dawson in his later years had knee surgeries and knee problems and was moved to right field, and they still gave him gold gloves and they still gave him a 3 in Appa baseball. So anyway, short story, I will stop right there. Dean Memiger's a 2. Jerry Lucas is a 3. Wow, that's impressive for a guy with arthritic knees. 2B for Monroe, and Bill Bradley's a 3. So those are pretty good ratings for a 57-win ball club. Some of those are well-earned. The other game I have which I own a 73 season, is the Computer Basketball by Wayne Wisco. And those cards are a lot different. But another fun game that's mostly dice activated. Players look a little bit different there. They're given a 1 to 4 defensive rating, 1 being the best, 4 being the worst. They foul a little bit more. There's Willis Reed. He's got a 2. But he got a couple inside and outside columns and full stats at the bottom of the cards. That's what the, I don't know, did I obscure Walt Frazier? That's what Walt Frazier looks like. 21-1 in 1973. So there's always options if I wanted to try to keep this series alive, because the Lakers look like they are going to win. Here's Bill Bradley. Dickie Barnett, who didn't play that much. I haven't played him. Only 514 minutes. And he played like 5 games in 1974. So this is basically his swan song here in 73. Jerry Lucas, always a good. So he's got a rebound at center of 30, rebound of 24. I wonder what Chamberlain is in this game. So if Jerry Lucas is a 30, Ginelli's a 30 as well. Let's take a look for Uncle Wilty here. The Dipper. Let's see, there's Pat Riley. Mostly a guard 4. That means he fouls a little bit. Not a great defender. There's Happy Harrison, the injured Happy. His rebound rating is 40. Keith Erickson plays 2 positions. Jim Price, Mel Counts, 2 positions, 41-37. Yeah, good rebounder, but look, 4 defense. Wayne Wisco wasn't too impressed with his defense. Jim McMillan has actually got a 1, so there's some super defense there. 3 for Bridges, but he does hit the boards. And there's the Dipper, 44. That's a heck of a number. Jerry West has a 12. 1 on defense. Goody, he's got a 2 on defense. But that's what you get when you have a good team defensive game and you don't really have a team defensive card necessarily. So those are individual ratings that come up on individual matchups. So anyway, Wayne Wisco's Computer Basketball, a classic game, 3 seasons. Wayne has hinted at an anniversary edition. We'll just have to wait and see whether that occurs. All right, let's get this last 3 minutes played. We've got the Knicks down by 16, but they do have the ball following a turnover. Pass it into Reed. Better advance that ball. Pass it to the F2. F2 is Dave. We're going to shoot that because we don't have a lot of time. No good. Rebound's going to go to the Hyatt Center. .22 rebounds for the Dipper in his allegedly final game. Action is passed to F1. Jim McMillan. Advance, ball stolen by Bradley. That's 25 turnovers for the 73 Lakers. Pass to G2. Earl the Pearl, he's going to fire. We need a basket. No, 85. Earl had made 3 in a row. Rebound on that one's going to be high at center. 23 rebounds for the Dipper. Pass it on to the F2. That's Bill Bridges. Pass it to the G1. That's Jerry. Jerry's going up on Walt. Because he can. No good. Rebound's going to go high on defense. Well, I think Reed, on my rankings of per 36, has gotten 11. That's your big man. That's really high on the team, tied with John Gianelli, who I've only played 3 minutes this game. Pretty much using Jerry Lucas and Reed in the middle. Pass to the F1. Dollar bill. Let's advance that ball, please. Loose ball, foul, defense. So that number is going to be 68 on the defense. Gail Goodrich, 64 to 68. Yeah, that's 14 fouls, non-shooter. They could use some shooting fouls. The next foul will be pass the ball to the G1. Earl's firing away. 15 good. $96-82. We got ourselves a contest. But we're getting less than 3 minutes into it. Lakers can smell victory. We got Jerry West. He'll do his advance to the F2. Bridges, he's going to advance the ball too. 24-second violation, Bill Bridges. Getting a little complacent. Pass it over to the G1. The Pearl's going to fire just like at Winston-Salem University. 23, but there's the kicker. It was a 23, which is easy good, but if you have a C2 at center, it refers to a block rating, and Wilt Chamberlain is at least a 2 at center, so Wilt is going to block his third shot of the game. That kind of play could lock up MVP honors for Wilt Chamberlain. 16 points, 23 rebounds, unofficial 9 assists because I don't know how assists work. Rebound, offensive center. Reed's going to go up. He doesn't care. He's taking the big man, Wilt, to the basket. 21, and once again, C5. And Wilt is a block 5. Another block by Wilt. So Wilt with back-to-back block shots. He's got 4 on the game. Rebound this time. Offensive center. So do I try to pass the ball around or do I go up with it again? I think the intimidation factor is enough. We're going to pass that ball around. Pass it to the pass to the F1. Goes to Bradley. Bradley's going to fire. They need a shot. 21 good. Just 4 points for Bill Bradley. 96-84. Pass the G1. Jerry advances it to the G1, so he's worked himself a better shot with an assist rating of 3, which is very good. It adds about 30 points to his rating, makes it almost automatic. 28 is good, Jerry West. Been a slow-scoring quarter for the Lakers, but they do have 98 points, 18 in the period. And it looks like they'll withstand the rally. Action foul on the defense, so Lakers get a foul. Foul number's 32. Well, the McMillan's really close. That's 5 team fouls, so McMillan's man was Bradley. Bradley's going to take a couple quick free throws. What happens here? 83 is not good. Oh, he's 11 of 78. And 56 makes the second. So 98-85. Action foul, offensive foul on the Lakers. Holy cow, we're running out of cards, folks, but 28 on the offensive foul. McMillan again, that's his 4th. So the Knicks take over. Limited minutes. Fouled in the act of shooting. Well, we're running out of cards here. That's to be foul number 75. Jerry West. Question is, does Frazier make the jump shot? 48, no. But he does get to the line. 3 to make 2. And he's got a 67, good. 88, no good. This is killing the time clock here. 32, good. So he makes 2 out of 3. $98.87. It's all academic now. Final card of the game, pass to G2. And what I read in the rules, you can take a last-second shot if you like, and you subtract, I can't remember if you subtract 10 off the shot. I'm not going to do that. Oh, I'm out of cards anyway. So our final score is the Los Angeles Lakers 98. The New York Knicks 87 in Game 5, May 10th, 1973. Wilt, in this replay, extends his career by an additional game, and we'll see if we try to play that in some other version than Statis Pro, because I've got multiple options here. But anyway, I'm going to do a little quick wrap-up, and we'll be right back. Welcome back to Statis Pro Basketball Central. Our Budweiser player of the game is Wilton Norman Chamberlain, playing like a seasoned veteran that he is, 36 years old, approaching 37. The man came through for Los Angeles tonight at both ends of the court. He finished the game with 16 points, 23 rebounds, 4 block shots, unofficial 9 assists. He was 7 for 12 from the field and just pretty much put this game out of reach. The Lakers, for the game, finished despite 27 turnovers, shot the ball at 58.7 from the field. Knicks shot a solid 49.3, but there was just too many makes for the Lakers, too many rebounds. The final number on the boards was 44 for Los Angeles, just 23 for the New York Knicks. They don't have one player besides Frazier who can rebound with a position player on the Lakers, and that hurts the Knicks in this game. I would really hesitate to think that the Knicks could defeat the Lakers in a 7-game series in any way, shape, or form if Chamberlain is healthy, which he always is. Let's see, what else do we have? Fouls were 20-20 in this game, each team. 31 unofficial assists for the Lakers, 17 for the Knicks. The Knicks did have 18 steals to 13 for the Lakers, but they had no blocks, and Wilt had all 4 block shots for Los Angeles. The Knicks were led by Walt Frazier's 28 points on 12 of 17 shooting. He had 5 rebounds, but just 3 assists. Dave DeBusschere was 6 of 13 for 18 points, just 3 rebounds, however. No one could rebound on this team. Willis Reed was held in check. Just 3 for 10 for the field. 36 minutes, 6 points, 6 boards. So, rough game for New York. They got off to kind of a slow start. They were down 28-19 after 1, and then they got outscored 27-15 in the second quarter. As I said, they just couldn't buy a rebound. They were shooting the ball reasonably well. They were down 55-34 at halftime, so this game was pretty much decided in the first half. But either way, the game flow was pretty good here in the fourth quarter. It wasn't even the rebounding that beat the Knicks in the fourth. It was just some solid clutch shooting. Even though they got outscored 30-18, they had more than enough in the tank, and they had a big enough lead that it didn't really matter at this point. But congratulate the Knicks for at least making a run at it. They definitely struggled in the rebound department, and that was the biggest difference in the game. So anyway, I'm going to sign off here from Tabletop Sports Central. This has been Rod's Tabletop Hoops reporting. Have a good weekend.